And just a heads up, guys, either you keep the volume down or Harry will make sure that you will. So please keep your volume in mind when he's performing his poetry.
When the last martyr speaks, there will be an awakening to these backwards mentalities passed down from generations, and we will come to the realization that we really did take some pennies a little too far. We will see how fiction and art slowly began to rip apart a reality that realistically not one of us knew the first thing about. We will see how TV's taught hypocrisy. All we blamed them for was the same that formulated the very core of our own Babylonian superstructure. Concrete, godless cities could never be considered the heartland. Blood on the hands of Uncle Sam began to stain his hand, and was shook, and disorientated visions began to visualize the truth with flags, a motel room bed, secret meetings, such new world order, this self-righteous explorer had our children dying over silver quarters. We are taught to demonize rational thought, baptized by memorized words not of the spirit, but false gods, men that practice magic tricks on crowds of preoccupied citizens, their eyes fused with small screens, a limited vision. Authenticity is a limited edition. Too many covers with very little originals. All these covers without pages, no stories, Bibles of memes, gospels of idiots. We are trying to reset time but find errors in the programming. We are trying to rewrite reality but find we are illiterate. He speaks in tongues, she speaks on microphone, I speak to you. Break out your shell, break from this spell, the door to your cell is open. Come with us, a freedom forbidden, a culture, a body language, double masking, second guessing instinct by the space in between blinks, never questioning experts that have made a business out of lying to us. Blind trust is a thin security blanket incapable of protecting one from the sun or the dampness of a rainy night. So many halos, no city of angels like puppets we dangle ridiculous on strings resembling nooses. An elephant never forgets while a jackass kneels before a queen of damnation. This damnation, executioners, actors, cowards of obedience, freedom of speech, but everyone's silent, allowing what's happening to happen, refusing to resist. A blind man's taste test, a free man's lament, the death of a love song without a heart, the breath of Zeus exhaled from fallen buildings, invisible monsters and easily seen heroes, although transparency depends on the frequency of a preset RPM. I be him, the man your mama warned you about, the one that won't sell you to an improper suitor while reminding you of your greatness on your lowest of moments, the plague of finance after starting over and over and over, the game over before ever holding the controller, can't control her. I know her, I've seen her, I've dreamed her. She came with me in dreams, she came to me it seems, but as she stood there, I kept falling, mind kept calling, thoughts to reconstruct themselves at the first minute of the following hour. Freedom is now, or so I'm told, sold to strangers as experiments, a drowning bear, a melting mountain, God's eye of the storm, an organic fury, a planet sinking, mindless mining industries, poisoning crops, child slavery, women disappearing near Coca-Cola factories, a disease seized by opportunists, a mental sickness, an unawareness to much more severe illness, a global stillness, unnecessary conflict, obituaries before birth certificates, the coldness of a fire, its last dance on warming waters. Earth's destroyers are blaming us for their factories, scientists blaming creatures for their disease. Authority claims they protect us yet neglect us soon as the order is given. Sovereign citizens commune in the realms of a dangerous fiction, self-inflicted victims of the highest of privilege, failing to understand they are not the deities they claim to be, and we are not the sheep to cross steep rocks on the skinned knees. I believe in belief and disbelief. I allow fate and destiny to intertwine through time and weave thee in eternity, and forever cannot be as long as we speak a controlled language of doubt, passing off the unknown as inevitable, writing off stories of the dead no longer here to defend themselves unless we hold the correct seance. But a foolish pride has killed off all belief, and here we are, lighting candles and summoning the art of talking to ourselves. We are not the people we used to be. We are far from our ancestors. Our ancestors are not who they told us. Our gods have returned back to their home planet. We only remember remember what yesterday's architects want us to. We are the martyrs of logic and reasoning, poets, the prophets speaking the blues. We are given toys to distract us as they attack us psychologically. These breakthrough diets are designed to weaken us physically. They are teaching us to achieve defeat and suffer silently, worrying more about our image than our character, more concerned with social status than one's own self. Death of a stubborn pride, birthed by a blind allegiance, believing one continent to be the entire universe, blaming overseas for homegrown ignorance. Always choose evolution over revolution. No need to repeat this, but always choose evolution over revolution. No need to repeat this. The situation is not under control, nor will it ever be. You chose to be under control by those on imaginary thrones of control that are not in control, lost all control and sold your soul down by the river, conversing with serpents that had the answer for Adam's ignorance, burying the evidence by burning the women that possessed the power to save our homes. Mother Nature is being burned in prescribed fires by deniers of her existence. Mother Nature, by far the most powerful of all witches, goddess of all, forgotten by too many, objectified and exploited by opportunists. I challenge no God but the man that still believes he knows her. Sweet, sweet mother, forgive every blind bastard for these fathers that forgot how to raise sons, their children forever lost in the night.